night.
1, 2, 10.
This evening, and this special panel right here is going to be called, Voices for the Peanut Gallery, I think is what I call it? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, I was testing the mic because it was quite quiet earlier.
Okay. Voices from the Peanut Gallery, because there are several people that are in the fandom here that are marginally talented with voices, and those 3 people are accompanying me right now.
Huh?
I was complimenting you, shut up. So right here on my right I have Deimos Foxx.
Okay.
On my left right here I have Jesse Nowacking. Woo! And on the far end over there we have the one and only Ellie Monty. Woo! And I guess we're going to talk about voice acting.
What's voice acting?
Which is much more interesting than talking about economics. We could talk about the economics of voice acting.
I want to talk about this plushie.
No.
It's amazing. You guys need to get one.
I have 2 plushies like that, but they're not live.
And will everybody stop checking the back end of it?
I noticed that I was not the only person to do that. So, Jesse, how did you get into voice acting?
Let's talk about them.
You want me to say?
No.
Fine, I will say.
I would really appreciate it if you would stare at me blankly while I continue asking questions. All right. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Why are you wearing that hat? Do you like the color green?
Purple, tacos, yes, I like my hat, and green's alright.
All right. She's good. All right. Jesse, how did you get into doing fan voice acting?
I was bored one summer, and I thought I'd try it. That's like the honest answer. I've been acting since I was like 6. I did musical theater and stuff like that, and then voice acting just kind of was a thing that I thought, oh, I'd try, and I was awful, but I kept going, and now I'm less awful.
Sweet. What about you, Ellen? Would you?
Kind of similar to Jesse. Like I've studied musical theatre and acting since 6 as well, and it wasn't really boredom. It's just like I was on YouTube and I was like, wow, people do this online. I'ma have a go, kind of thing. And then one thing led to another, and it was fun. It was a fun hobby, which now I take a slightly bit more seriously, a bit like Jesse does now. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, sometimes he has like a mental twitch and he gets this way. So.
No, that's just like normal. I'm stupid every day.
Capper, do you know how like dapper you look right now?
That is, we should call him Dapper General.
Dapper Dan!
Dapper Dan, man. Okay, how did you get into voice acting?
Well, I got into voice acting because while I was in college, one of the things that an engineer needs to do is learn how to talk to people. So I went to a thing called a fundamental of speech class, right? Fundamentals of speech. And someone looks at me and says, dude, you got a voice, that's right, not a face, a voice for radio. And I go, oh, really? And I go, well, I guess I'll try this out. So I got with Celestia Radio. And then I saw the Emerald City Comic-Con radio play of Star Wars. Did you guys see that with like Tara Strong and all them?
Awesome.
I was like, this is a job? I'm a cartoon. So I started doing voices and got better with it. And next thing you know, I got a voice acting coach, Westluck. So, and next thing you know, well, she's not a brand.
Westluck brand voice coaching.
If you're looking to get the best voice acting training there is, try Westluck. It will get you through.
As for me, I used to record video. I used to record audio journals when I was younger, which is really completely irrelevant to this entire situation. But I was on Celestia Radio staff because I had submitted to a fan fiction reading contest that they had put up, which was where you pick a fan fiction and you read it and you send it to them, and I had picked the recently that had come out Somewhere Only We Know. because I thought it was a really good fan fiction. This was before it was a big fan fiction. And I submitted it, and the guy that ran Celestial Radio was like, "Oh, that sounds really great." And then after a time, I started doing some radio work for them, and at a convention out in Las Vegas, which will not be named at this time.
Las Vegas is Unicon.
Get out.
It was amazing. Continue.
Shut up. So anyway, out there, I was talking with Deimos quite a bit, and we were talking about voice acting, and so basically it occurred to me, that's something that I could do, and when I looked into it a lot, I saw that a lot of the males in voice acting have these very deep, low, grovelly voices, like Deimos Foxx. Yeah. And there's a couple of guys, not too many of them, that have a very high vocal range. So I started doing it, and it just kind of turned into that, and now I do voiceover work. Clap, everybody. So do you want to
There we go. That's a good thing. Clap, it feels good.
So,
Sorry about that.
What? Okay, are we doing our camp
All
voices
right,
now?
hey, you girls gonna say something?
Yeah, they're like sitting over here like,
Like,
oh
what
my
do
God,
you say? Like, what?
We're completely dead because, yeah.
Like, I just want to go shopping. Like,
That's so nice.
what? What are we doing with it?
That's so nice.
Jet lag.
You tell good stories.
Sorry.
So,
I would love to do some Q&As like
Okay.
we do for the
that sounds
for
good.
the
Q&A.
Sure thing.
Q&A.
Okay.
Q&A. Does anybody have any questions, Mr. Capper? General, if it is something about sea ponies, Toby Keith, or you know what, Capper? I'm just not going to call on you. Guy at the end. Today, I hosted the writers panel, and that makes me most famous now.
I gotta tell you guys, I was gonna stand in line and go up to the mic during the writers panel and say, "This question's for Toast. Where's the room key?"
To which case, I probably would have responded with, "Go away, Deimos."
But I need it. I can't get in the room.
Okay, seriously, questions for people that aren't these guys. That guy.
Okay, this one's for Jesse. I actually wanted to ask you this one earlier. Aside from 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. Pokemon trivia question.
Sure.
What were your 3 favorite episodes of what's been aired so far?
Ooh.
Top
I
three
do.
questions.
Top 3 Pokemon Bridge episodes. I'm gonna say, in no particular order, just the top 3. It's not like one is more important than the other. The Eevee episode was super fun because I got to voice a little boy again because I do Max, but I also got to do Mikey in that episode. That was very cool. And it was that was our fastest written episode. We did it in 4 hours. The script was completely done, and we got to voice it like right then and there, and it was incredible.
Was a wonderful episode.
Thank you. Yeah, we had the Team 4-Star boys in there. That was fun. That's tough. I'm very much a critic of our own stuff because I can't watch old episodes of Pokemon Bridge because I'm like, Misty's awful, everything's awful. But in recent memory, people really liked episode 7, which is when Misty and Ash face off and she battles him and he loses, but the sisters still give him the badge because they're sisty. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind watching that one. And then last one would probably be, I don't know, I hate all our episodes. I can't think of another one. I can't remember our episodes. The first one? Yeah. No, the redub or the first one? The first one was awful. The redub's okay.
Was she screaming in her head at Ash?
Oh, actually, yeah, I like that part. Okay, episode 1 redub.
Just hit him!
Yeah.
Episode 1 more than the original, but I prefer the original of episode 2 more than the remake.
We do obscure jokes sometimes, like in I'm just getting off topic for a second, I promise, but in
It's fine.
it relates to voice acting actually. In the, I don't blame 4Kids at all for what they're doing because like they wanted to make it 4Kids. That was their job, you know. I don't blame them for that. It's just sometimes they were a little lazy with things. In the original episode 1 of Pokemon, in the Japanese version, Misty is angry at Ash because he like drowned his Pikachu pretty much, and she's like, "You're irresponsible." And the first thing she does pretty much is slap him in the face, and you hear this, you know, the smack sound, and she's like, you see the smack in Ash, but in the 4Kids stuff they cut it out. But we watched the episodes to write the series, and we were watching it, and I had never seen the slap footage, and so I'm watching it, and the scene goes, and you just hear this slap sound, and nothing happens, and I'm like, oh my God, did Misty slap him in the original? And Mike was, one kid was like, yeah, why? I'm like, I think 4Kids forgot to take out the sound effect. So if you look, you know, Ash is like, I am the greatest, and Misty's like, you're the worst, and it's like, what was that?
That's how hard she slapped.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're gonna do things, make sure you take out certain sound effects.
Pokemon fighting each other and hurting each other, that's okay, but a woman slapping a man.
Of course not, no. That's
that's-
violence.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be the 4Kids. You know what they did to One Piece and all the different stuff with the.
Yeah.
I'm going to smoke a lollipop, and I'm going to chew on the end, so it's the lollipops on this end.
My favorite is when they send Bellamere to the dungeon. To the dungeon!
And the best thing is the gun with the hammer that's pulled back. That's got to. It's like I'm gonna do this. It's like I'm gonna hit him with the hammer at the end of the. It's like at this point I may as well just like beat him with the end of it because it looks like.
All right.
Why didn't they just, if they had a sensor, I can understand censoring a gun, why didn't they just simply turn it into a hammer?
You mean the what was it, the Dratini episode?
Because it's Japan.
Safari Zone? Oh, okay. I was talking about the Safari episode where the guy's just
So
like,
off topic.
the guy's like, just draws a gun at the guy. I mean, they're singing and he's like, you want me to shoot you guys? It's like,
Why
what?
didn't they censor it like they did AT and make it a walkie-talkie instead of a gun?
Yes. How about gun ponies?
I'll call reinforcements.
Or just have him holding out his head. That's the point. Work for you, Neil. Just have two guys pointing.
I like how they handled Pirates of the Caribbean because they didn't baby it. They're like, this is about pirates. Pirates drink. Pirates shoot people. We're going to keep that in the movie. I like that they did that, you know?
Keep the corsets
It could be
tight.
bad.
That's actually not true. If you watch Pokemon, you actually get to see a few people get shot.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah.
So voice acting?
Cabber, you had a question. You did at one point. I then skipped over you rudely.
That's exactly what I thought you said.
No.
No.
Next. No. Next.
Yeah, both of us did.
When is the next episode ready? Why was the decision made to play Green Day at the end of the first episode?
That was gonna be one of my questions too.
Watching the movie right now, actually.
Yeah, we don't edit it. We don't. I was going to be an editor for it, but I got really busy, so I had to drop out. I was just voicing Lil Pip, but they sometimes run it by me. They're like the finished product, what they think is the finished product. Sometimes they'll send it to me, and I'll be like, change this and this and this, blah, blah, blah. I do that for Pokemon Bridge. But, I forget why Boulevard of Broken Dreams was included originally, but they just thought it was a cool acoustic thing, and it's kind of like Lil Pip setting off on her journey, and she thinks she's alone, you know. So we thought it'd be a cool little addition to it.
Well, it's not. It's no different to the bit where Velvet. She sang I sang a Japanese song in English. It's kind of like that, really. I think they're using actual songs in it. Well, I don't know. I don't know what those guys are thinking. I just record lines.
I got something for Ellie Monte. Could we hear?
Wait, hang on.
Could we hear some buttons, Mom? Please. We all want to hear it.
Time for school.
Oh my God.
But Mom. I'm not ShadyVox.
Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna change it.
I've got to hold it. I'm not ShadyVox sign. There's a question over here from the AV guy.
So, do people in, let's say, in television or in animation or in visual media, do they talk the way real people do, or when you guys record voices, do you have to modify the way you talk?
Yeah, because most of the stuff I do a lot lately is not in my own accent. It's in an American accent, so I have to modify the way I talk because British people, we talk more forward, where Americans, they talk more at the back of their mouths. So I have to kind of sort that out. She's very strict with me. You are very strict with me. I've probably recorded one line like 100 times because she's like, nope, didn't say that word right. I'm like, idea. No idea.
If any of you watch Dark Swamp, she voices Edda in it, and Edda has an American accent. So I'm, you know, if your accent slips in, I try and make you, you know, again.
But I like that though. That helps you like get better. Like having strict directors is amazing. It's fantastic.
Because the worst thing ever is getting in a project and being directed by someone. And then you're like, are you sure these lines are all right? And they're like, yeah, they're fine. And then you see the finished product and your lines are awful. And you're like, why didn't you direct me? You know, I hate that feeling.
Another big thing with the way that you talk is that even with a good pop filter, you run the risk of having plosives, which is when you do the P's and the S's and they make those sounds. You run the risk of that. So when you're doing a lot of recording, a lot of the time you will, over time, you start to not put them out as much, and you become just like you're rather than saying Peter Piper picked a peck. You start actually doing this Peter Piper picked up where it really you actually limit your plosives when you record. At least for me, it's the case.
Sorry.
You go first, mate.
For me, the thing that I've learned that's real nice is that whenever you have your microphone, I put mine right here about eye level. So whenever you're doing your P's and B's and everything, flies right under the microphone. But it's catching everything, right? The pop filter is really just there to catch spit. I mean, that's the thing, if you're yelling or whatever. So just a tip I picked up on.
I think yours was first.
Me?
Yes.
If the four of you were to do a collaboration together, would you rather do, and it's pony related, would you rather do a musical, an episode parody, or a completely original episode?
I would love to do an episode of Wonder Force Star Brigade because there's a guy with a giant bay.
It's Kamen Rider.
It's that joke. All right, fine.
Kamen Rider, Star
didn't know, I
Force,
wouldn't
Wonder
mind.
Brigade.
Kamen Rider, Star Force, Wonder Brigade.
Yeah, climax.
I would love to do a musical.
Did you say non-pony related or pony related? Pony related. I'd like to do a parody of an episode one day. I think that'd be fun. Like a one-shot. Because, as Jessie said in her panel, like friendship is witchcraft are amazing. So can't get any better than that. But like a one-shot would be fun. Yes, I agree.
I agree with everything you said.
It'd be real fun to do a parody. Like Find the Music in You. Fluttershy was the person who sabotaged Big Mac.
For some reason,
That was Pinkie Pie.
For some reason, I thought you were saying you are the
Watch the
music
show,
in me from High School Musical, and I was like, oh.
But I can
High
really
School
imagine
Musical
that.
was real.
I can
My
totally
head's
imagine
having
that.
trouble believing it. Sorry, good.
You got like Big Mac in the front doing this singing, right, with the thing with the
Yep.
right, and you got Fluttershy's in the back going.
I will kill you if you mess up.
Okay, what was the, for each of you, what was the one line you were recording and you just had a severe case of the giggles? You just not record the line, you were just laughing yourself to a frenzy.
This was like for my own thing. I thought I'd do some takes of Apple Bloom saying Honey Boo Boo lines. That took me a while. I'm 6 and I'm beauty queen. And I don't know if some of you have seen it, but I did a dub over the Bronies react, a bad lip reading. Talking as her, dubbing over her was so hard. Going, "These cheaters who steal my mother's cheesecake," and doing that cracked me up a bit too much. Especially when I'm trying to watch her mouth movements and she's like. Yeah, and some shots in Brony's React, I'm like, I don't remember doing that, but okay. I think mine is probably, it was one of the first audition lines I got for Little Pip in Follow the Question. It was Luna's title, Mare Heat. And I was like, how am I supposed to read this? Because I didn't know anything about the character at the time. And I was like, what am I getting into? I died. I'm dead.
Mehi, what does that mean?
Oh wow. I recently submitted some press releases to various groups for my HorseCon 2014 April Fool's joke, and there was a line that was in there that actually I had to completely abandon the vocal part of it because I just couldn't do this line, and it was that HorseCon 2014 will be taking place at the Southgate, Detroit, a location which Orbit's users have voted a toe-tingling 1.8 out of 5. And I could never do it, so eventually I just sent a text when it said.
For me, I went up to Columbus for a recording, and I was playing a jealous lab elf.
And so his name is Robert Tyrone Poppycock Humbug, but everybody calls him Bob, right? So anyways,
He says, you've just done something evil, and Santa's right there, and you just start laughing to yourself. And so I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, okay, well, he goes, I go, well, how big do you want it? And he goes, how big can you go? I'm like, how big do you not want it to go? And he goes, go big. So I'm sitting here, so basically it was like, yes! I'm sorry. And I couldn't get the last part because I was just cracking up.
Jealous. Hi, I'm like an aspiring voice actor for like the past 10 minutes, and I was wondering.
Cello, sit down.
Except for you, but you're not a voice actor.
Oh, shots fired. You will not be alive tomorrow.
Jealous. One day in the future, there will be a television show that will get a fandom as large as the Bronies. I will voice one of the characters on it, and I will stand in front of the microphone while a rather aging M.A. Larson is sitting in the front row talking about stuff because for some reason he writes for it. I will look right at the camera as it's being streamed by whatever media organization happens to be the most professional at the moment, and I will say, Chalice, screw you. And that'll be it.
Chalice, we are no longer friends.
We are no longer friends.
If you had the chance to be paid to voice any character in any cartoon, this is a question for all of you, which one would you pick?
The one that pays most.
Well, that's tough.
I would probably do a main, since I'm getting paid for it, I'd probably do like a main character where it's like a super, Luffy from One Piece. I said it before, I'll say it again. I'd love to do Luffy from One Piece. That'd be a great voice. I like Luffy. What about you?
I don't know actually. Well, I said. Earlier I said like I really like Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls, so I would like. Well, I got to play Bubbles in Double Rainbow, which was a dream come true because the animation was amazing. So well done to Double Rainbow people. But to be honest, like if I got any paid job, I'd be happy. Not because it's paid, but because it's like professional, you know. Yeah.
But also because it's paid.
Oh yeah, money. Dollars.
Paid.
So what was the question?
The question is, if you had the opportunity to get paid for any role anywhere, which one would it be? If you had
I would have to
choice?
say it'd be the Huntsman from Freakazoid. Commissioner, I've come in for a job. Done! I've missed it.
Oh man, I am completely stumped. No, it's really not that hard. I want you to know that it's not that hard. No, for me, I submitted a thing for PBS because they have a show called Sid the Science Kid. And I submitted a thing to them, which I didn't get the job, but I had watched the show because I thought it was particularly interesting. This kid has the weirdest, crazy science adventures from a 4-year-old perspective, and it is absolutely hilarious. I would love to do this.
Hi, I'm Sid, the science kid. Today, my friend's mom came and gave us vaccinations, and it was really scary.
And there was so much emotion in this little 4-year-old kid's voice. I would absolutely love to do that for the rest of my life.
Thank you.
I heard that. Oh gosh.
That guy right there. He put his hand up first, right there. Yeah, you.
Now I'm trying to figure out what. Okay, how for paid gigs, like in pursuit of them, I'm assuming that like everyone who's doing this like this much as a hobby is also like pursuing it professionally. Like, how far have you gone for like I don't know, like casting calls or like submitting resume kind of things? What type of stuff do you do to try to get noticed and get into professional level voice acting and stuff?
But me and Jesse have been in a few professional things. Like I've been in a few games and you've been in an anime. The main thing, see, it is about talent, but it's also about contacts. And also, if you're doing it from home, having a really good mic, because nobody wants to cast someone who has a crappy mic. You could be like the most talented voice actor, but like if you have a mic that's like this, it's crap.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. I have anime auditions where I audition from home with my regular microphone, you know? Because it's not, sometimes it's like, hey, we don't want to make you pay for the bus to go into the city, just do it there. I'm like, okay, you know, it's easier.
Yeah, all the like professional stuff I've done, it's all been in my booth at home. Like what I've got is a portable booth which I can just hook up and unhook and stuff, and just a Blue Spark mic and my laptop. And the reason I have the booth is because the room is echoey, and you gotta have a good room as well. 'Cause that's another thing, mic echo.
What's your booth? Is that like foam or is that?
Yeah, it's got foam on it. It's a little portable one you can just open up and close, and it's really good for like bedrooms and things.
Yeah, about booths, if you want to learn a lot of stuff about them, a really good TV show, or not a show, but a YouTube video, is it's called East West Audio Body Shop. It has Dan Leonard in Buffalo, New York, and what's his name? George Wilfram or whatever in L.A. Yeah, he built Tara Strong's and Don LaFontaine's home studios. They have a podcast every Monday, and great information about building booths.
And they also, I found out that they do Google Hangouts with it too, and you can like connect with them too, which is something I'm planning on doing like maybe next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So for me, my big thing is I do marketing as my day job. So I started adapting that for my voice acting gigs. So a lot of that was putting together social media. That was, I could network with people really well. You put together a big stack of business cards that you carry with you everywhere that you go that look really nice, and you can just stick out there and have your name on it, right? Like these are mine, for example. Yeah, I also designed. Yeah, I also designed his, and
I don't have any.
And
I'll let you
Oh my God!
These will be up here if you want them later. Shh.
Capper, sit down. Cello, sit down. Checo, please.
Oh wow, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Do you have
Jeffrey, please.
I'll do design for you if you want.
Do what?
Here's mine. Anyway, but it's about marketing. So like I've done a couple of paid gigs, and a lot of it was just about knowing somebody that knew somebody that needed a job, and then you happen to get it. Having an agent is always good. Both me and Chris are represented by Heyman Talent in Ohio, and it's good stuff. It's absolutely good stuff.
I actually was able to come here because of that job up in Columbus.
Yeah.
So. Why don't you talk, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, Bon? Hey! You want some food?
I like this way she does. I didn't put those.
I love how we make fun of Bon and everyone's just leaving.
No.
I'm tired.
That's fantastic. Yeah, you can talk about all that stuff with Bonbon.
Wait.
No way.
Yeah, we don't even want you here. Get out of here,
While you
Kyler.
still can.
Oh man. Yeah, I gotta get ready for that thing too.
This will be an awesome panel now that 4chan is leaving.
What?
Before I go, one last question. What was your most awkward fan experience?
You.
Goodbye, Chalice.
Bye, Shella.
It's just
My God, that guy.
we were talking about this earlier actually. It's just amusing when someone meets you and they're like, you're sure in person. You're like, okay. Thank you.
I thought you would have been taller.
I have no idea how to answer that. You're taller than me.
You know, Jesse, when I first met you, I thought you would be more beneficent and magnanimous.
Other words that are 3-syllable.
Actually, it's really funny. Jesse's the very first person in the fandom that I ever met in person, and it was really funny because it was BronyCon 2012, and I pull in the thing and I get into the hotel and I'm like, I don't even know where I'm gonna check in, and there's just like she's just standing there, and I'm like, hi, how's it going? I'm PonyToast. She's like, oh, I'm Jesse Doran, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I know who you are. And that was a really lame story. Anyway.
And then he went and cried for 10 minutes.
That's so touching. I'm sobbing. You can't see
Kidding.
it.
So what other questions do you guys have for us, really?
Wait,
There's one over there.
Bonbon, I would have voiced her like.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. I'm going backwards.
Oh, there's Bonbon, something up here. It'd be weird, not fitting. I want it.
There we go. Is that like Terrence Ross now?
She's good. She's good.
Check her butt.
Stop, okay? I know you want something to be there. What do you think's gonna be there? Candy?
She's not a pinata.
You should check. You should check the back. No candy.
At first, I thought they were just checking to see if it was female.
No, we
I don't wanna see
were
the
just
clock.
interested to see whether or not you got a specialty product.
Well, see, that's what people do with cats. As soon as they get a cat, they're,
V8 cattle turned into looking at pony butts.
Wouldn't that be the weirdest thing though if you bought a Lilo plushie and you look at it and there's balls and you're like, what? Someone needs to do that. Make a shop where you just make plushies and they just have male genitals and you hide them so that they don't notice that they buy them. And then one day they're just looking and they're like, what is this? I paid $70.
those there are called truck nuts. I don't know why guys do that, throw a big truck nut on their truck. I'm like, what the hell? Why are you putting big, huge, like, never mind, I'm done.
The solution to that is to move to Canada. Next question. Right? It was that guy back there.
I wish I was Canadian.
So earlier, you all mentioned that you had like a moment where you thought to yourself, oh, I could do voice acting. What was the thing you did right after that? Let me rephrase that. What is the thing you did right after that in regard to voice acting?
I cried.
Because I was totally be like, I ate a sandwich. Watch some TV.
See, what happened was is that whenever I finally found out I wanted to do voice acting, I go up to somebody, I'm like, dude, what do you think of this? And I was like, do you think I could be a character?
I would get these calls from Chris, and it'd be like, hey Toast, okay, I've got this voice, and I want you to hear it. And I'll be like, okay, that's cool. I'll be like, I'm moving up, ready to bring in It didn't sound like a character. What do you think his name would be?
It didn't sound anything like that.
It did not sound anything like that.
No,
It's
it
much
actually
better than
did
I
sound
am.
pretty
Like
good.
I said, I'm terrible. I shouldn't be up here.
What about you?
What do you want to do? How are things over here at the table?
Yes.
Skip thanks. Charizard hat.
What? No, wait a second. Oh, that's her hat.
It's my hat.
Yeah.
It is.
It's not hers. Goes with my dress.
It does. It's rather fitting.
Fashionable. Any other questions? Somebody pick one.
Maybe we should do this from now on. We should just be using the English voice entirely.
Yes. So, were you
Make
going
this
to,
entirely
what did you
classic.
do after you found out what the person?
Well, I found out that I could voice act.
Yeah, like
I was
that.
like, yay, another fun hobby.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, I really like this. I might take this a bit more seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
That's good. What about you, Noak? Okay. Well, let's move on.
For me, I started recording things, a lot of things, entirely. Far too many. All right, what do you have?
Well, there's a person over there.
Oh, that's a nice one. Oh, I absolutely love the stripes on your hoodie.
It's kind of blinding, though.
I'm waiting for Ellie to reach over here and just slap me and go, no, that's not how it's done. No, it's really interesting. I got a lesson in speaking British today from an Englishman named
You
DJ
don't
Stephen.
realize how many Americans go, hello, Morty!
We call this so demeaning.
Hello!
No, I'm learning the PR British, and it's very difficult to do because everything's pronounced.
The whole panel I want to do, we were talking about it earlier. If Vinyl were to do an impression of Octavia, it'd be really bad.
Do it.
Yeah, so I'm
Do
going
it.
to talk that way the entire panel. Just
Do
like,
it, I want to hear it.
oh, pip, pip, Octavia, crumpets. That's what you sound like. Ew.
That is just like...
You sound like wub, wub, wub. I am Vinyl Scratch. I really like the bass cat and whoa.
I'm sorry, you had a question.
Yes, back to the stripedy shirt.
First of all, Ellie, that makes you look like a straight up G.
That might be an insult.
Want to rap for us, Ellie? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm so cute.
I am all the hizzy, my nizzy, no shizzy.
Do you hear that?
Right, what's the question? I'm so sorry.
What character, anything, whether it's animated or not, do you think represents yourself?
Oh, really? Huh? I've never seen it. Thank you, though. The tick?
No, the one you were just doing.
Oh, what I was doing there?
No, your deep one right there.
Oh,
That's
right,
yours.
yes. Oh, yes. Possibly. I don't know. If it had to be a character, Freakazoid, maybe?
Wait, is a voice that represents you the best?
Yeah, the voice that represents you the best. The voice you do
Oh,
that
the
represents
voice
you
that represents me the best. Oh,
Because my voice represents
probably Scruffy.
the character that represents you the best.
Oh, well, then probably Freakazoid. Possibly, maybe.
Oh, man.
Or Pinky.
Oh man, this is gonna sound so cheesy at a pony convention, but
In
I'm
a
totally
pretzel.
gonna say Rainbow Dash.
Oh, God.
Because I'm the best around.
He needs to tell himself that.
I hate my life. Next. I have learning deficiencies.
It's probably Vinyl. Vinyl's very like based on me, but also it's like the example I use is Vinyl is me if I was way more cockier and way more like
Lesbian?
talented. Way more. No, I'm 100% lesbian. Okay, I can't crank it up anymore.
I know. You
I
weren't
would die.
responding to my advances, so I knew it. So.
Oh, that yeah. Yeah, so it's probably Vinyl.
Awkward turtle.
It's obviously Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. I am a big muscly man, you know. I don't know. I have no clue. I think I once said I said at Brony Days I was like Flufflepuff, but because I'm kind of crazy sometimes, but yeah.
Can I change my answer? Am I allowed?
Go ahead.
No.
Because I was just thinking about it, and the one that really for me has got to be, for those of you who remember Homestar Runner. I'm told I'm the captain of a gravy train. Yeah. Sound like Stitch?
It kind of sounded like President Obama for there.
And
for a
family
second.
means no one gets left behind or forgotten.
All right, next question. Oh wait, I'm not
question.
running this panel.
What? No, you could. It's fine. There's one way over there, and actually, no. I'm sorry. The AV guy was first, and then you.
Hey.
What types of voices do you guys find hardest to do?
Deep ones for me. I mean, I can go down there, but it's very. I start to lose the depth of my voice, and it starts sounding very fake for me.
For me, it's the
really high. This is about as high as I can go, and it's not that high.
Yeah. For me, it's deep and gravelly. Like Revy in Dark Swamp, I can only do like 12 of her lines a day, or I have to take a break, and then maybe later I'll be able to do it. But it's a very like particular voice. Sometimes it's like, no, I'm not working today, and I'm like, okay.
Mine's probably the Welsh or the South African accents.
Me too.
No, that I wanna inclusive Africa. Welsh. I wish I am. I really like sheep. That's the only thing I can say. And then other than that, I just sound like I'm going in Irish accent or Scottish accent. All over the UK.
If it makes you feel any better, Lee Tokar himself has said that Welsh is the worst accent for him to ever try and do, and he can't do it.
Yeah. Although I've been watching a lot of, there's this Welsh show called Gavin and Stacey, and I really like quoting that. Oh, hello Gav, what's occurring? That's fun. But it's really hard. It's a really difficult accent to do.
Not even the Welsh can do Welsh.
That's true.
It's made up.
We have one over here.
Hey.
What was that? It's a little Okay, no. We've already switched hats. Like, now she's not wearing a hat. She's not wearing a hat.
I switched invisible hats.
You two are good friends, so I would like to know, how would you impersonate one another, not trying to be too outlandish?
Well, wait, who?
Yeah, it's
me and him?
Yeah, it's us two and them two. How you impersonate each other?
Not you two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck us. Who cares about us?
Look like twins. So, what do you do?
Wait, it's 10, right? It's 10. I can curse, right? Okay, I'm good. Okay. Sorry.
You and I are not friends.
I'm fine
It's funny,
with this.
we were talking about it earlier because we had, a back and forth with Vinyl and Octavia for opening ceremonies, but people were like, why don't you do the same thing for the Goldie Awards? And I was like, I don't know how to make fun of you. Like,
Yeah, we said that. We were like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to make fun of you.
I really like girls' boobies. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea because I love her. We're really good friends, so like I don't know.
me making fun of you would just be the Vinyl stereotypical thing where she's like, you're British, that's the joke. I'm gonna make it a million times. Toast. It's English toast. You suck, I hate you.
Did someone
It's funny when
say
people go,
English
they go,
toast?
we like tea, and I'm like, I actually don't like tea. I've ruined your joke.
All my material, and I just have a bunch of index cards, and I'm like, gone.
Yep.
Yep. I like this English toast idea. All right, what do we got over here?
Hey,
Over here.
where's proper hand?
What you brought up before with the Welsh and Irish and stuff, is there any place you guys go to like pick up accents in order to refine your own stuff? Like I'm assuming someone else who actually speaks the accent properly.
Well, with the American accent, it helps talking in like Skype calls with my American friends. But what I do, I look up politicians and stuff because they do lots of speeches. Like when I had to do a German accent once, I looked up German politician. This guy was talking for ages, and I used to write down what words obviously sounded different from normal English to a German-speaking English. So that's how I do it.
It's funny. I draw off of like stereotypical things because I don't like do the research ahead of time, and sometimes they're like, I was auditioning for a video game, and there was a bunch of characters I auditioned for, and then they were like, we're gonna throw this one at you. It's an Irish accent. She's one of the main characters, but we haven't gotten anything we really want to stick with yet. Do you want to audition? And I was like, yeah, sure. And inside I'm screaming, I don't know how to do an Irish accent. So I just in my head thought about how Lucky from Lucky Charms says everything, and I got the role. So sometimes you just gotta fake it to make it. Okay, I got the role, so just.
That's hilarious.
That is quite true, actually, because when
They do.
Sorry, just quick. When Jan actually asked me to do photo finish, I had no clue if I could do the voice. I was like, yeah, sure. Listens to photo finish.
I can do the Irish accent as long as I get to say, as long as the words are only, "You can't have my Lucky Charms." That's it. That's all I can say. They're after me, Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
That's it.
I use Speech Accent Archive, FSU. If you look it up, it is people from all around the world reading the exact same passage in English. And so if you know it, then you can start picking it up on it. It's actually how I got my Scottish, how I like to think I perfected my Scottish accent with this. Please call Stella. Ask her to pick up these 3 things with her from the store. 5 spoons of fresh snow peas, 3 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for our brother Bob. I was able to do this thing like over and over in my head, and it helped. It's actually, to this day, the trigger phrase that I use to go into my Scottish accent is, please call Stella. And I just go in from there.
For me, I wanted to learn British, and so what I did was, and I'm not the best, but what I did was I listened to a BBC Three show called Mongrels. It's a really great show. I love it. And so I would listen to Nelson. Yes, I would listen to Nelson every day, and I couldn't get his voice because it's a little bit higher or whatever. But anyways, I would listen to it over and over and over as I would sit in my cubicle, and I ended up getting it imprinted into my brain. So, anyways, I'll probably watch TV shows from other places.
Someone just suggested that to me today too, was to watch news.
Yeah, watching news.
You? Directing?
You mean like ISDN phone patch voice connect?
Like directing, directing voice actors, right? Yeah. Well, okay. Well, let's see. I guess know that they have limits, that they're not all powerful, and their voice will go away if it's pushed.
I mean, are you talking about like advice on people that are actually directing voice actors, or technology to do it with?
No, like the director.
Oh, okay. Oh, so like,
no equipment.
Oh, okay.
Required.
So advice for the director.
Yeah.
Give me more lines and pay me by the hour. Better yet, by the word.
I'm such a bad voice director because I have a very specific. I am. Anyway, I have a very specific delivery in mind for both Dark Swamp and Pokemon Bridge. So if I'm directing someone, I've directed you on Pokemon Bridge and Dark Swamp, and you can say how awful I am. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I like strict directors, and I really like directors that know what they want. So, and Jessie definitely knows what she wants. Like, as I said, she made me do like 1,000 takes, and well, not literally 1,000 takes.
Literally 1,000. I kept her up all night, like into the day, and she's crying, and she's like, I want to sleep, and I'm like, no! This is a parody for the internet that I'm not paying for. You do it!
I did want to expand on that one. Directors that need to know what they want, they also need to be able to get as crazy to show the voice actor what they want. So if they go, could you like give it a little bit more oomph? No, they need to get like just as crazy to show us what we need to do.
The absolute best work that I've done with a director was someone who was able to give me an example of someone's voice and be like, do something like this. And actually, it won't even be do something like this. It'll be do this. And that way, at the very least, you get an idea of how it's supposed to sound in your head, and then more often than not, you come up with some kind of a play on it that they really like.
See, what I've liked about working with Jessie and some other directors is the fact that Jessie has had not only voice acting training, but she's also had stage training, which really, really does help with voice acting because, it has acting in the name. So joining an amateur dramatics club and joining any acting club is really, really helpful.
Yeah, 20% voice and 80% acting.
Aren't you an engineer?
No. Yes.
Yeah, for voice directing, the reason I say that I'm a bad director or whatever is because I do that where I show them how I want the line delivered, pretty much. But it's interesting. Do you guys know Joshua Tomamoto? I think that's his name. He's a voice actor. And he, I've had people voice for Dark Swan before, you know, and they've, you can really see where people have had their training in if they voice in your parody, because if you're a stage actor or something and I want you to deliver it in a certain wacky way, some people can't do it, you know, I have to like imprint it in their mind over and over. But the character Tomamoto voiced in the Dark Swamp episode that hasn't come out yet, it's a very serious thing, and it's more, Dark Swamp is like an anime basically, so, and he's worked in anime, so I hardly had to direct him. Yeah, he just, I did my normal thing, like, okay, this line I'd like it directed this way for the first 2, I think, and he just did it like spot on, like perfectly for 3 takes, and he's like, is that good? I'm like, yes, please, you know, you can just keep going. I'm like, I'm good, you know, so it's cool to see like how actual voice actors like handle anime stuff as opposed to parody.
Gosh, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
So there's something I want to say real quick. How many people in here like recorded themselves and then play it back and go, God, is that me? It's so freaking annoying. What you need to do is become comfortable with your voice, and the best way to do that, plug your headphones into a microphone and talk and listen to yourself while you're talking at the same time. And while you do that, it will slowly change the way you perceive your voice. So that way when you talk normally without headphones, you know exactly how you sound. So, and once you're comfortable with your voice, you can do anything.
I just wanted to add on to that because this is literally something I've been doing in the past month. I was trying for the voice thing.
I'm a finalist.
Yeah, you're a finalist. Whatever. Can I get a round of applause for a finalist in Voice Equestria, by the way?
I specifically went out of my way. I realized that I needed to make, as you mentioned, you need a good mic, even to be able to listen to yourself. Because I was like listening to myself on like a regular Skype type microphone kind of thing, and I listened to myself and I was like, that is not what I sound like. That please don't let that be what I sound like. And whenever I switched over to a proper, what's it called? What's it actually?
Cardioid? Condenser mic, yeah.
Once you switch over to that, it does pick up a lot more.
Yeah.
It sounds entirely different. And I don't ever get a chance to plug in my headphones into a microphone.
Yeah, I would not pay a lot of money for a good. I paid about 180 for mine. I mean, of course, you go like 1,000 and whatever, but no, just if you go over like 200 for a microphone and a headset, or a microphone and headphones, then you're paying way too much because it's also a lot dependent on the space around the microphone. So. Yeah, I mean, like a really good microphone could sound like crap if it's in your bathroom. So a good idea is to look up Roxul insulation, R-O-X-U-L, Roxul insulation, and you can make these panels. Only $5 for a 4x2 sheet, and they kill sound. It's amazing.
Are any of you looking for volunteers?
Volunteers?
People who are willing to work for free?
That depends. How good do you make your coffee?
What I would suggest is for voice actors that are just getting into it is my hat. It's my hat. It's mine now. Anyway, is joining Voice Acting Alliance, Voice Acting Club, or Vocal Loco, which are very great sites because you can post in a thread your demo or I don't know, anything, and there's great people that can critique it because even some of the moderators on the site are professionals in the business. And then on Vocal Loco, there are some really good singers / voice actors that can really help you out. And there's always threads in there of people looking for voice actors all the time.
My first major fan project on voice acting songs. I did the voice of Steve Burnside in Resident Evil Code Conchi.
Awesome. But yeah, it's great sites. Voice Acting Alliance, also known as the VAA, and then Voice Acting Club, which is also known as the VAC, and Vocal Loco, which is Vocal Loco.
KFC, LMNOP.
Kentucky Fried
BK.
Kitchen.
Yeah, I got my voice acting from
QD.
KFC.
LGBT. Keep going.
And when we got 5 minutes, we could probably fit maybe one, maybe two more questions.
5 minutes.
Completely random. Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
Here's a completely random question. Do you guys watch Doctor Who? If so, what's your favorite episode?
Wait.
The one with David Tennant.
I don't know, because most of the ones I've watched I've really liked. I do like Matt Smith, though. Oh. Probably the Angels episode, you know, with the statues.
I know. The one with Van Gogh.
Oh.
I love the Van Gogh episode. I know.
At the risk of being a hipster, my favorite episode is the first one by the fifth Doctor, Peter Davison. The first episode is called Castrovalva, and it's for one very particular scene where they get out, and the character who is played by this guy that really just can't act. They're like, you know, look around, see if you can find the exit. And the guy goes, "It's over there." That made my I cannot watch that episode without laughing like my shins off.
I haven't seen it, I'm sorry.
What? You haven't seen it? No.
There's a lot of episodes to get through.
You're dead to me. All right, let's see if we can get one. Yeah. What? Is that what we're at now?
Cake.
It's an important question. It is important. I'm just wondering.
Cake.
I mean, Mrs. Pie with ice cream.
Strawberry cheesecake.
I'm going to say pie because pizza is a pie and you can put bacon on a pizza.
Yes, sir. That's right there.
Bringing back a retro question. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
What's a Klondike bar? Oh, there it is. Where is it?
See, you don't know what a Klondike bar
A Klondike bar is a square vanilla ice cream block covered in chocolate.
Do you live under the rock?
No, she lives in the UK.
Oh, she lives in the
What's
UK.
it called in there? Like a lolly or like
She's
a...
like somewhere in Canada.
I'll tell you guys what I would do.
It's a choco ice.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. That is exactly what it is.
I'll tell you what I'll do for a Klondike bar. I'd be on this panel.
Horrible.
Okay. What was yours? What was yours? I didn't hear it.
What I do for a choco ice.
A chocolate ice.
Yes, what would you do for a choco ice?
Pip. I don't know. I'd buy it for like $1, whatever it is. Do you guys like the Reese Klondike bars? Those are like the best things.
Absolutely.
No, dude.
All right. Let's start talking about food. All right. And for me, let's see. What would I do for a Klondike bar? What would I
So, Toast, what would you do for a Klondike bar?
Capper General. Thank you.
All right.